Hey, welcome to the 11th episode of Kicking It with Coach. I'm here with my special guest, Mr. Eric Gallman. I coach Eric for years. His, 5, 6 years.
Yeah.
Um, some at South Lake Christian and some at Mountain Island.
Yep.
Um, Eric is a student athlete at Cornell. He participates in football. How you been doing, Eric?
We're doing really well, Coach. Right now it's just trying to finish up these online classes. The last couple weeks of semester been kicking up, a lot of work to do, but I've been doing really well. And like Coach said, he coached me last 4 or 5 years in high school, but we go way back to middle school. Way back. So it's good to be on here, Coach. Good to see you and catch up.
And no doubt, no doubt. So how's your GPA going? How's your grades, your academics?
Doing really well. So I've been on the dean's list for about 3 semesters. My GPA, I want to say it's a 3.58 right now, so about a 3.6. So I'm doing really well in school, and just my thing is my interest in my academics has continually grown as I've learned more and more, and I've learned about a little bit more of the real world, a little bit more about real estate and things of that nature. So as my interest has gone up, my grades have gone up too, and I've been doing really well. So dean's list, I'm really proud of that, and just striving to be the best I can in the classroom.
For sure. How was your season last year on the field and off the field? Let's talk because we got two seasons. You got the student portion, the athletic portion. You want to talk anything about your season last year?
Yeah, so we started off a little shaky last year. We went into the season with two quarterbacks, kind of tried to run two offenses, and the guy who was a starter ended up breaking his foot, and then we had to go with the quote-unquote backup at the time. But once we settled into an offense, we kind of got to show on the road, and we started throwing the ball in the air and having some success and having success on the ground. And so we finished with two big wins at the end of the year, one against an undefeated Dartmouth team and one against Columbia at home. And so I was excited about that. We finished strong last year.
What's some goals that you have for this upcoming season, both on the field and off the field?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't even talk about off the field this past season. I know one of the things for me is I try to schedule my class load light during the season. So I was in 12 credits during the season, and I got all A's this past semester during the season as well. So I was really proud about that. But some of my goals for this upcoming season on the field is, you always want to do better than what you did previously. So my last game against Dartmouth, I had 9 catches for 98 yards. Columbia, I had about 5 for 85. So once you touch the 100 mark, you want to get that every time every time you play. You want to see that end zone. So definitely one of my goals is to reach that 100 mark and get in the end zone as much as possible. But for the team, I think we have a really good team this year. A lot of guys coming back, and the overall spirit of the team is better. Guys know each other. We're confident in each other. It's a better team feel, and I feel like we can win the Ivy League championship if we just take it one game at a time. So definitely to win the championship and put my best tape on the film.
For sure. What was the biggest transition for you coming from high school to college?
There's a lot of transitions, on the field and off the field, like we talk about. So, and in the classroom, because once you go to college, you're your own person. You're your own man. You got to handle your time. When you go to class, when you study, you got to kind of set your own system up. And me, I've always been pretty much like independent and self-sufficient. So it wasn't that big of a change, but it's like what you're doing now has changed. And so I think the thing is, man, is just having a set schedule and sticking to it. And everyone wants to have fun in college, which is cool, but you set aside your time for that. So it's kind of like you have to balance what you really want, especially during the season. It's all football, and you kind of have to understand that. And then when it comes to football, the speed of the game increases. Everybody knows what they're doing, so those windows close a lot quicker. And it's like, okay, are you going to study and take the time to really, really know what you're doing and know what your opponent's doing so you can have that mental edge? And if you do that, that'll help you a lot because the game's a lot faster at the next level.
For sure, Eric. Any advice out there for any student athletes looking to be where you're at?
The biggest advice I would give them, one, is to believe in themselves. All of us, we have the capability to be great. And first, you got to believe in yourself. Coach Washington, that's one of the blessings to have a coach like Coach Washington is he always believes in you. He'll tell you, I believe in you. Go get them. We've been doing the training. You know what the training is. You know what you've been doing in the classroom. You know what it is. So go out there and attack and show the world what you can do. And if you believe in yourself, that's the first thing. The second thing I would say is just set a goal for yourself. So for me, I've always set goals, and you keep that goal in your mind when you're doing your training as you're going throughout the season. Because one thing in college is it can be a lot of work with the schoolwork and the football. I'm like, man, this is kind of getting crazy. But you have your goal in your mind, and you're having fun with it. The goal will propel you, and you keep that vision, and you'll have fun accomplishing your goal. So those are two big things: believe in yourselves and set a goal, and keep working towards that goal every day.
For sure. How important is it to take your academics serious in high school? And I talk with some student athlete about taking your academics serious as soon as you enter ninth grade. And I remember you coming in ninth grade. I mean, you didn't miss a beat. You hit the ground running. So how important is it to take your academics serious in high school?
Man, my grandparents and my parents, my dad, they always taught me from kindergarten, you take your academics seriously. You focus in the classroom. Don't be playing around with the little kid. Like, focus when you're in class. And so that's just something that's been installed in me ever since I was 5, 6 years old. So it was a habit by the time I got to ninth grade. So, but by the time you get to ninth grade, you got to take it seriously, because that'll help open doors for you in the number of colleges you can go to. I know for me in my recruitment process, I didn't even hear the Ivy League schools, but I always had great grades. So when they came by the door and they started swinging by, I remember Princeton playing by the school, Harvard would come by the school, Cornell, and then it's like, man, I didn't even know y'all had football. And then y'all Division I. So now you have all these opportunities because, you kept your grades up and you kept focus. And, keeping that focus kind of eliminates distractions and kind of keep you from getting sidetracked in different ways while you're in school too. So it's a win-win in so many ways to keep them up as soon as you get to high school.
How did your high school experience help shape your college experience?
Man, so starting off at South Lake, I started off as a champion, 2 state championships back to back. So I was around guys who are working hard. I was around your son, Robert. I was around, Jalen Nash's, the guys who are working and setting the tone, Khalil Robinson, all those big homies, Chris Lutzel, who you had on your show. So I saw how they work, and I saw how we practice, and I saw what a championship team looked like. So for me, I got that mental image early. I saw the vision. I saw guys communicating with college coaches. So that was really big for me. And so now, you kind of learn how to create those same habits. And then when I transitioned to Mountain Island, it was like, okay, now let's put these things that you saw into practice. So now I got to learn and then put them in practice and kind of lead a couple of teams, with a couple of my teammates. And, that was a good experience. So there's a lot of lessons, Coach. But one of those is just, hard work and dedication. If you keep those two things present, you'll come out on top most times.
For sure. What's some ways that I've helped impact your life?
Man, that's a long list, Coach. But one of the big ones is, I went on a lot of recruiting trips with you, Uncle Pre, my pops. We went a lot of places. And one thing that I always saw you do is you told Lil Robert, did you call this coach? Did you call this coach? And you'd be like, hey, E, did you call your coach? So now that taught me, okay, if I want to go, I got to reach out and actually plan to achieve the goal. So that's one of the things that I take, not only in football, but like, okay, now that I'm in school, okay, there's internships out here. Well, how do you do that? Well, let's reach out to someone in the industry. So I take that same skill you taught me, and I'll reach out to someone. In my freshman year, I did an internship at Waffle House. This past summer, I did an internship with Carolina Panthers doing the same thing. So it's like the same principle that I learned in ninth grade, going around talking to these college coaches, translated into me getting a great internship. Mm-hmm. And just that having that confidence to reach out to anybody and that confidence in yourself that, you have what it takes is one of the biggest things that I've learned. And, man, we used to call them coaches and stay on them. And, we reaped a lot of benefits from that. But you have to have the confidence to call the coach and talk to him like, hey, coach, look, this is me. I'm Eric Gallman. I'm a big-time recruiter. I'm a big-time playmaker. Check me out. And then I'm going to come in person. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do too. So that was one of the biggest things, man. And I got to watch it. So then I got to see it. And I saw Robert do it. And I'm like, okay, bet. Took my notes, and I got to do the same thing. So that's one of the biggest things I learned, is having the confidence to, if you want something, set a plan, call some people, get a good team, and go accomplish it.
For sure. Any Coach Washington impersonations?
Oh, man.
Or anything.
Man, I know. One of the things, after every camp and stuff, we always get some food. So Coach should be grubbing on that food. It's good. It's good. It's real good. Hey, E, it's good, ain't it? And I was like, yeah, it's good. And I'll never forget, we were at like Quiznos one time, and the dude is making you a sandwich. and he like knocked a piece of chicken off. He was like, "Hey man, I know you ain't just knocked no chicken off my sandwich." He was like, nah, go remake the whole thing. So he went all the way back to the front of the line, remade it, and make sure he had all his chicken on his sandwich. I'll never forget that.
Hey, you know what's funny? I had Will on, and he had a similar story because we used to travel. People don't realize we used to travel a lot.
Yeah.
I had a chance to see Coach in a different light. I got a chance to really get to know me, and obviously our families are close. Your father's like a brother. You know, we're close. And family-wise, so y'all got a chance to really see me outside of the coaching world. And, you know, I always remember those times. And y'all know I'm picky. I'm funny about my food.
Yeah, you don't put that food.
And I used to always tell the guys, because I used to always think, I'll tell y'all don't know how to eat. Y'all don't know how to eat. Because, you know, a pre eats like a bird, right? Pick through his food. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm getting everything. I'm getting mayonnaise, extra mayonnaise, lettuce, tomatoes. I want the works.
The whole thing, yep.
Pre gonna get a chicken sandwich with just bread.
Pick at it.
And then pick at it. Yeah. Hey, that's good stuff, E. We're gonna transition to our fun part.
Okay.
We're gonna check out a few videos, and we'll get back up, and I'm gonna see what you think about it. Cool.
Sounds good.
Let's do it. All right, E. So I can't do an interview and show any video without starting here.
Yeah.
And to kind of narrate it a little bit, we're in double overtime. And, well, not double overtime. We went to overtime. I'm thinking about another game. We're in overtime, state championship game against a rival opponent. Davidson Day had won 3 state championships, even had a picture of the one ring, the 4th ring missing right before this game.
Before they ran out, they had the 3 rings with the 4th one up there. Yeah.
They came in, the team, the coaching staff came in with a lot of confidence. They figured they could beat us, right? Mm-hmm. I think we actually, you know, our philosophy with them was that they have been playing cupcakes. Yep. Because if you think about their first 3 state championships, who did they play? Heroes Christian. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm welcoming the audience into our thinking as a coaching staff, as a team.
Most definitely.
And we knew this team had never been challenged, right? They never had been challenged. Heroes Christian, Christ School at that time. Christ is good now. But back then, I mean, come on, y'all won 3 state championships, and they was bragging about it. And I'm like, y'all didn't play nobody. Our 2 state championships came Victory Christian, you know, Randy Moss and Thad Moss and those teams. We had to beat those teams to get our state championship. And then also beating a great team like that.
Victory Christian again, who went to Miami, Ohio. Can't remember his name.
Josh Allen.
Good bet. Yep.
So, I'm just kind of building up the momentum to this moment for our audience. So, it's a stellar game. We playing with nerves. You know, we're totally playing with nerves. Really didn't have a good game offensively, defensively, held us together. Yep. All year we have been showing that 3-4, 4-3 look. Yep. And we knew that they had our film. We knew they had every game. Yep. Yep. And we also knew that they was arrogant enough not to switch up some stuff that they've been doing. They just felt like they were just better than us, right? Mm-hmm. So we go 4-2-5, E. Yep. And 4-2-5, we went 4-2-5 knowing that, and we made a big change. We end up putting you at corner, starting you at corner, yep, and then moving the pre to safety in that 4-2-5. And I think they went right at you. They did. And you end up picking the ball off. Yep. Because we knew as soon as they seen you, they was like, okay,
let's go get him.
He's a freshman. Oh my God, he's a freshman out at corner. Man, we going at him.
Yeah, they tried to attack all game. I know I had one pick, big time pick, and then I had one. They were in a fade route on me going towards the end zone, the other end zone from this tackle. I remember Khalil got the pick on it, so we were both there, and I deflected it, and then he was right there, picked it off, and that was a big time pick too. So I knew they would come after me, but I mean, when we work out receiver, DB, all of it. I'll do receiver, pre be DB, and then we'll switch it up. We do all the drills. So when the time come, we were ready, and I had some schools recruit me at DB too. Not a lot of people know that. So, yeah, it was a fun game. I remember they played Nuck If You Buck before the game. Everybody was hyped. The crowd was packed on both sides, highly anticipated at a neutral location, and it was game time.
So we end up going into overtime. We score, right? So the pressure's on them. Ultimately, pressure's on them.
Yep.
They call 2 timeouts only to call a Statue of Liberty play. Now, this play took some guts to call. I got to admit that. But they took it from Latin that played us earlier that year that ended up getting us with this play.
Yep.
So we knew it was some trickery.
And big thing too is this, coach. I wasn't playing DB. I wasn't starting at DB when we played Latin. So I remember I was on the sideline, and I remember I watched the play. Like, I was just sitting there watching it. And my brain, like, took a mental note. So when this play coming up, when they'll see it, like, I just had, like, a flash in my head, too, from, like, seeing the play. And we watched film. Like, I don't know if a lot of people know how much film we watched as a team. Like, that was a real unit. We sat down all together and was clicking through it and talking through it and having genuine conversation. And they'll say, what do you see? What do you see? So when the moment happened, like, a lot flashed through my head real quickly, and then it's just reaction.
And that was a heck of a reaction. Let's look at this clip.
Yeah. Oh, crazy.
Big time interception we talked about.
Yeah, I wanted 6, but big time pick. And we're down 14-0.
Give me that.
Give me that. Yeah.
Man, one block. Man, that was pick 6. One
I
block.
should have had 6. I should have had 6. I had to get up out of that tackle, coach. Man. Storm the field. That's crazy. One thing, too, coach, if you, like, look at it before the play, like, I don't have a wide out, out there. So I'm kind of condensed in looking at the tight end. And what they did that was smart is they sent him on like a drag. So my eyes followed him at first. And as my eyes were starting to follow him, I caught like the quarterback standing funny. And once I saw him standing funny, then that's when my mind went off. And then it was just a race to the pylon. And I was out cold turkey, coach. I ain't even know I was out cold turkey like that. And I woke up on my back like, what y'all looking at? You know what I mean? Like, why y'all looking at me like, did we win? I didn't know if we won, coach. So I'm looking like, did we win? And they're like, yeah. So I was trying to celebrate. They're like, nope, you got to stay right there. And they duct taped me to the thing. And I was like, crazy experience, man. Didn't even get to take the picture with the guys after because I was in the hospital, but it was definitely worth it. Got some nice ice for it. So
For sure. And going back to that play call, again, it took guts to call that play.
Most definitely.
And it didn't work, but in cases, for most teams, it would have worked, but they didn't have Eric Gallman on the field. So obviously, you couldn't trick you. Was a smart guy, which translated to what you do in the classroom and totally represent who you are. Now, one thing about that clip, because I remember Pre thought you was dead.
Yeah.
If you know, Pre was crying.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, you could see him put his hands on the head like, oh, because I was slumped, coach. Coach, I remember laying there on my stomach. Before I was on my back, I was a second. I was like, oh, I can't move. And I'm like, I'm trying to open my eyes. I couldn't open my eyes. I'm like, and I just prayed. And I'm like, Lord, I can't be like nothing's wrong with me. I got to be straight. And when I woke up, I was straight, you know, and I was so happy. But two things that are big, like one thing to a lot of young guys is like, you never know what play, you know, can make you. You know, that was a big time play for me and put me on the map. So when those colleges started to come by, they were like, oh, you the kid that made the tackle of the game winning tackle. And it was like, oh, you this and that. You never know which play might blow you up, man, and project your career. Another thing is my pops is in the end zone. So like he always found a way to coach. And even to this day, like when I play in college, I'll look up in the stands and I'll see he'll be telling me stuff like, come inside, like he playing inside leverage, him with this right here, and I'd be like, all right, okay, cool. So he was back there, and if you see it, like he run, he jumps and did like some type of split in the air. It was kind of crazy, but man, that was crazy, man. That was fun, man. That was fun, man.
Yeah, and one thing about your dad, we always talk about, we call him the eyeballs. Remember that? I said, your dad, no matter where you went, what camp you went to, your dad was laser locked in, and you would meet eyeballs.
Yep.
So, funny story, we're at a rivals camp, right? And it's a kid that looks just like you. Like, you remember the kid?
Yeah, facts.
And, so we're at the end, and we think it's you. And your dad up there hot. This kid was up there stinking it up.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's Eric. He said, that's him. And I'm thinking to myself, and your dad was quiet, right? Yeah. He had that.
Yeah.
We come to find out it wasn't you. Thank God, because he was waiting to make eye contact.
Right. Right. Thank God it wasn't me too. Wait, them car rides. You want them car rides?
Yeah, your dad knows. When he see this, he know exactly what I'm talking about. And, you know, going back to that particular play is when we were celebrating, you know, we was all on the field and we went over and we was like, everybody realized he ain't get up.
Yeah. And
so I ran over there, I seen your dad. Your dad was like, he's good. And Pre was like, I knew he was straight when I heard him snoring.
Yeah.
I think he was snoring. He was like,
I didn't believe it. When I woke up, they said you were snoring, Coach. I'm like, I don't even snore normally. So I know I wasn't snoring. Like, so I was sleep. And then I'm like, how long I been out here? They said like 15 minutes. I'm like, ain't no way I was knocked out for 15 minutes. But that's just, it was what it was. So I'm like, man.
But that was the definition of giving it your all, and putting your body on the line. Because there's a lot of people with some jury because of that. Yeah. And salute to you. I'm one of those guys. Salute to you.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you. All right, we're going to get to several more clips, and then we're going to come back and talk about those clips. All right?
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right, E. Team USA.
Yep.
Let's check out a few clips from your Team USA days. I think we're in Boston. Yeah, we're in Boston. 2012, I think it was 2012, 13, one of them.
13, this one 13.
Making people miss. That's what you did. Ooh, look at that. And people don't realize this is the best of the best. These are guys that's either in the NFL now or they're playing major college football or they're playing football somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Give me that.
Over the shoulder.
So, E, we're going to get into one more clip.
Okay.
Let me know what you think.
Okay. Now, that Team USA experience is second to none, Coach. I mean, there was a lot of competition out there during those days. A lot of guys, like you said, in the NFL and guys who were hungry, man, and had a lot of fun with it. So, can't beat that experience. Youngie.
All right, E. A lot of people don't realize you put a lot of work. And when I hear a lot of young men that's smaller, on the smaller size, because you and the Pre was an ideal size, right? But you guys work. And people didn't realize the amount of work that you guys put in. And we'll get into some of that once we start looking at some pictures. But y'all work ethic was impeccable. Holding
all on me.
Do him dirty.
Man, get off me.
Oh, God.
We went to Carolina, I believe.
All right, E, we just watched two clips. We watched your Team USA film, and we watched your Nike camp combine video.
Mm-hmm.
Want to talk about those two videos?
Man, Team USA, like I was saying a little bit earlier, man, it's just a fun experience with those guys. Like you really get to grow a lot in a short week by bonding with them and playing against the best every week. And you know, it was just kind of fun to be at that stage and be competing with those guys at the top of the top and be able to show your talent. One thing with me is I always love the best comp because it's like I always been a little bit, you know, undersized according to them. And so when it's time to compete and, you know, they doubted me, that's like my time to show the world. So that was really fun to be able to show those guys like, hey, I'm here. And like I'm gonna play. Like you better come ready because if not, I'm gonna embarrass you. And the same thing with the Nike camps. A lot of the guys highly recruited. That's where they're coming. So it's like, I want you. If you're the top dude, I want you. You know what I mean? Like see where we at with it. And my thing is I'm never scared to lose, coach. If I lose, cool. Give me the tape. I'm going back and we working. But you know, a lot of times when you have that confidence in yourself, you come out on top, like I did in those situations. So, you know, those are just great opportunities to show what you can do on the big stage, and you get a lot of respect from your peers when you do it on those stages. So it was a lot of fun.
For sure. Now we're gonna close out our video section with one of your most recent video, your college days at Cornell. All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's get it.
Let's get into it. All right, E, here we go.
Makes it a second. John Harris, the linebacker. Pass in the pocket, 20-yard line. The third. Let's watch the excitement. North Carolina product, Eric Gallman, broke the initial tackle. Oh, that is big game. That's big Gallman, 9 catches for 98. Big red. Suddenly, from the 20 down the rest of the field. On target counts 30. 51-yard.
Had a little post right there.
From the 9, making the nice catch. A little too cautious. Washington from the 23. Kickin with a quick throw. Ballman again.
All right, E, I just wanted to show a few clips. You know, there's more to come. You still a college athlete. There's more big plays to come.
I'm a big plays to come.
So you want to talk anything about your college experience and all that good stuff?
Yeah, one thing is too, like when you see those clips, man, it's like a lot of people don't know how much work goes into them. So like that one little that out I ran from the slot. I mean, we ran that in the spring, like every Tuesday, every week. You know, we would run that same route over and over again. And when the season comes, we hit it once. So you might only get that opportunity one time. So a lot of people don't see the back work that goes into it. So shout out to my teammates at school. But, you know, school is all about balance, man, and understanding what you like and what's good for you and setting yourself up so that you're having fun, one, which is most important. Because if you're not having fun, you'll get burnt out. So having fun, being productive at the same time, it's a fine balance to find. But also, man, like, if kids understand, like, you can go to these Ivy League schools and have success and gain a lot of knowledge, learn a lot about the world in general that, you know, you might not learn at a different school. So for me, when I started to learn a little bit more about banking and financing and real estate, I'm like, oh, snap, they're not teaching anybody this back home. Like, they're not teaching them how, you know, how this money flows in this structure and how they do, like, loans and stuff like that and how they're trading stuff on Wall Street. And I'm like, oh, if only they would know, then they could grow up and they can have these jobs and they all could be making the same, you know, type of money because we're all the same type of smart. That's what I realized. Like, no one is smarter than us in our community. Or they're not smarter. They're just in an environment where they get that type of information. So, you know, to the young guys coming up, man, don't limit your options based on, you know, you just want to go to this school or that school. If you're a big-time player, you want to go to LSU, go to LSU and be a big-time player. But if you're a big-time player, you want to get education as well and be able to do both, you can do that as well. So just understanding yourself and your fit when you're kind of making those decisions. So that's one of the big things for me that I learned in school is there's a lot more knowledge out there than what sometimes is portrayed to us as we come up, from the media that we take in.
For sure. And one thing that I don't think you get the credit you deserve in regards to this, because I'm looking at the entire landscape.
Mm-hmm.
For this county alone, let's say Gaston County, I mean, you're one of the first Ivy League players. I mean, you was one of those guys that showed a lot of people like, hey, I can do that. I can go to Ivy. And by the way, they're Division I too.
Right.
So, but I'm also getting a Division I Power 5 education.
Yep.
So you changed a lot of how people look, because you think about it, like since you went to Cornell, you got a kid, Marcus went to Stanford. You had Tony Davis go to Duke. You had Marcus Mooney that's now at Yale.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to them.
You see what I'm saying? So that was unheard of in this county, in Gaston County. It was unheard of. Mm-hmm. So I think you really set that trend, and you got people thinking outside of the box and thinking more about yourself as the next 40 years, not the next 4 years. Because, we've been on plenty, we talked about it, we've been on plenty of high school and college tours where we go to the college and they're selling you on, we got 30 different colored uniform schemes. Look at this big, beautiful room, right? Mm-hmm. But the academics was poor, right? They wasn't highlighting those academics.
Right.
So I just wanted to salute you, Eric, for being, a role model for so many and being that one that really set that tone for this area and show that you can do it.
Appreciate that. And Coach, and shout out to those guys who are doing that, following, and because it's one thing to see it, it's another thing to see it and actually, to do it and keep striving. So shout out to all the young guys who are doing that. Another thing for me is like, we played against all the top athletes in the country. I played in the East Bay game, Jeffrey Kuda, Cam Akers, a lot of those guys just getting drafted. Shout out to those guys who got drafted. And my thing is like, I know I can play with them boys. I've showed I can play with it. But a lot of people don't know is the NFL teams, they come to our school too. So the Texans that came by, the Bills are right there. They came by. The Colts, you'd be surprised how many schools, NFL teams who come by the school and they're evaluating too. So, I know that's a possibility for me in the future, and I'm confident in myself to play at the next level and get the education I have. So you really can't go wrong, making that decision for yourself. But one thing for me, though, Coach, is there's a lot of people who are looking out for me. I can't just do this on my own. So it's a big shout out to you, Coach Washington, to my parents, especially my dad, for guiding me, all the coaches who came up along the way, South Lake, middle school coaches, Uncle Chris Carter, who, gives me a lot of information, a lot of good insight. There's a lot of mentors that I have in my life, Mr. Tom Glick. There's a lot of mentors who are helping me, Coach. And so shout out to everyone who's helping me on my journey. And, that's what I'm trying to do, is help other kids out too. So life comes full circle. So that's what I wanted to say as well.
For sure. You ready to get into these pictures?
Let's get into these pictures, Coach.
Let's go. All right, E. Baby picture.
Baby.
Look, you got a football in your hand.
You see what's in the hands, Coach? It's been in the hands since a youngin'. It's been a dream since the kid, So to see all these things coming from the, that young kid, it's like, man, he probably wouldn't have known all these experiences would happen, but he's just happy and enjoying the moment. That's crazy. That's an old pic right there.
Now I can imagine Jennifer has something to do with this.
Yeah,
that gene. It's fly though. It's fly.
Yeah. A stunning, Coach. Baby, stunning, huh?
Your mom had you fly, so shout out to Jennifer.
Shout out to mom.
All right, speaking of your mom.
There she go.
I think this is a beautiful picture. Let's talk about your mom and the impact she's had on you.
Man, she's a strong woman, Coach. She's a strong woman. She worked numerous jobs with a lot of stress on it, and because it's high demanding. She worked at the Charlotte Housing Authority where she worked in different projects, and she is white, so she was in those situations and she was calm and she kept it cool. And when you see that, you can take some of those traits from her. She's a hard worker. You know, if I ever need anything, she's there, you know, to get it to me. I like certain things like special water, like I drink a certain kind of water. She knows that. And so she always looking out for me, Coach. So shout out to Mama. Love you, Mama.
For sure. She's definitely the rock, man. Your mom, I've seen her in some stressful situations, and she got through them as far as like making sure you and Lakin was straight. So shout out to Jennifer.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, Pops, my brother.
Yeah.
My Pops.
OG. OG, my sister has him saved in as. Man. I mean, I wouldn't be me without, you know what I'm saying, Pops. Like, that's where the football, we bond over football. I mean, I've been running routes since I was 5. So, I mean, I was running precise routes. So, when I get to this level, of course I'm going to be open. I've been running the routes, you know, and he's helping me, like, organize my thoughts, help me, like, plan, help me to take steps for my future, put me in great situations, showed me what hard work looks like. I mean, I used to watch this dude, like, he would go to work, he would coach my team, then he would coach my sister's soccer team, and then he would go to work again. I'm like, how are you reading so much? Like, how are you working so much? How are you doing it all, cooking, doing all this? And I'm like, man, so when I get in a situation, when I'm at school and I got a lot of work to do, it's like I just kick into what I seen. You just lock in and you get it done and you come out on top. So shout out to Pops, man. Love that. Showing me how to work, put me in great situations. And I definitely want to be the man, player, or have the knowledge that I have. You know, he's one of the biggest things he helped me with is how to think. You know, a lot of people don't think for themselves, and kind of guided me how to think for myself and be my own man. And that's big, man. So definitely love him for that.
No doubt. And just being close to your father, knowing his attention to details. Like, that's what makes him a great coach. Like,
Yep.
he's one of the best wide receiver coaches that you can have, because his attention to detail is flawless. Like, it's like every layer. It's attention to detail. And if you don't get that detail right, you got to come back.
You got to do it again.
I love when I say this. It's now, without the butt whoopers, but it's almost Joe Jackson-ish.
Nah, yeah, but like when it comes to it, and then as you get older, and it's like when you playing a game at this level, now you see why. Now it's like, okay, when he put his hand there, your hand got to be right there. When you stop on a dime, you got to stop on a dime at 12 yards, and now you had a success, and it's like, I feel good. Like, that's what he meant. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see then, but now you see now. And I've always appreciated it, because I've always just wanted to be great, like, ever since a kid. So when he was coaching me like that, I was like, come on, like, I need some more. Like, I remember I would ask him, like, if the ball is here, how would you catch it? And if the man's here, how would I do the spin move? And then he would show me, and it'd be like 11 o'clock at night. I'll just ask him questions, you know, to figure out how can I take my game to the next level. But yeah, his attention to detail is like no other. In that state championship game, I remember, like, he was back there analyzing Davidson Day. Like it was another coach back there. And I remember even on the play before that, he was like, hey, Will, hey, remember we watched the film on the slant? Be ready for that slant you're running? Boom. You know what I mean? We in play. So his attention to detail is crazy. And I think that's kind of where mine comes from. And, you know, it's helped me out a lot to this day. So that's big.
And Pops is really intelligent. He's an intelligent guy, and he thinks through the game, because that's one thing I learned from him was, and I use it now to my coach, is being prepared. Just preparation. So, you know, and then prepare for if this happens, if this happens. So shout out to my bro E. Major salute, bro. All right. Little bit. Little Lakin. You talk a little bit about your relationship with your sister.
Man, that's my best friend right there, Coach. I mean, we as a kid, we did everything together, you know, we went to the same schools. When I would change schools, she would change schools with me. I mean, we did homework at the same time. We worked out at the same time. And she's kind of just like me. She just plays soccer. We just play different sports. Like, I've been home from this quarantine, and our days have been filled together. We study at the same time. We wake up, we'll do yoga at the same time. We're cooking food. We're trying to eat good at the same time. We're going to go work out. We're doing the same workout. So she's just been right by my side, and I love my sister, man. She's just so kind, and, you know, she's got a little feistiness to her. So when she comes on the field, she don't be playing with nobody. She's about that life. But, you know, that's my best friend, Coach. We talk about everything, spend a lot of time together. So that's my rod right there. That's Lakin.
Yeah, she signed with, shout out to Lakin for signing with Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Also, her powder puff record. You know, she has the powder puff touchdown record. She broke Asia's record.
Hey, you know that saying so because Asia was toting that thing, man. I ain't gonna lie. I had people when I left text me like, "Your sister just going off in the powder puff game. She just scored another touchdown." And like I had came back to my phone that night after my day of school. I'm like, "Okay, that's big time. What I'm talking about." Yeah, man. She's athletic. She's got it's natural too. Like for me, I have to work for a lot of stuff. She just go out there and she'll do it. Her form will be good. She's twitchy, got good explosion. Her coordination is crazy when it comes to kicking that ball. I mean, I be trying to kick with my left foot to this day, and I can't do what she does. Man, she's gifted, and she's really, really smart too. Really, really gifted.
No doubt. And me and Rudd was watching her catch the ball, cutting and stuff. And me and Rudd was like, that looks like Eric.
Yeah.
It was weird. It's definitely different. But that's because you was a good role model for her. So we're going to talk about that a little later. I got some pictures to work through.
Okay.
All right. So people don't realize you had a highly decorated career. And now you're getting to the point where we can start reflecting back on it. But back then, we just looked at it as work, right?
Let's go get it.
I mean, we talking about Team USA, East Bay All-American, Junior Rank All-American, you name it. I mean, you've been FBU, you've been through a bunch of things. So this is your Team USA picture, and I'm going to scroll through them, and then let's talk through them. Okay. But I think this is your USA. You see Mo over here, and you got Paul's son.
Paul, yep.
Yep. He stud quarterback. He's playing college football, and obviously Mo just finished up at the University of Syracuse.
Shout out to Mo.
Or Syracuse University, however they say it.
Yeah, either way.
All right, junior rank. We talked about you doing junior rank. It's a picture of you doing junior rank, and I think this was the first All-Star game I seen you do.
Mm-hmm.
I think both of y'all was in 7th grade, if I'm not mistaken, at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a pretty big All-American game. So a lot of people forgot about junior rank, but shout out to Sean Berry. Shout out to Brett Cooper, Glenn DeVoe. Who's my guy? Oscar Dillard, Dill Dog. Yeah. Man, that was a heck of a thing because that was the first All-American game that you had to have the grades to play in.
Yep. That was a crazy game out in the Home Depot Center out in California. Great venue, great weather. I mean, I remember, Ray Lewis' son, I think, was in it because I remember I met his sons, me and Pre, like in the hallway playing around with Ray Lewis' son out there in California, So, and the thing with that game is it allowed you to mix with the older guys who were signing. So you got to see the guys signing. You put that image in your head. Okay, he's going to Stanford. He's going here. So shout out to them guys at junior rank.
For sure. I think Todd Gurley was out there one year. I believe he was a junior or a senior signing. All right, we talked about a lot of things. I forgot about national underclassmen, NUC, right? I mean, you always won awards. Like I think you won the receiver, the best receiver at that particular camp. But again, we looked at, now we can look back at it like, dang, you accomplished a lot.
Yeah.
But it was work for us.
Yeah.
It was a grind.
Yeah. Yeah, we were always going to get more. You don't even realize until you do take that step back. Like, I had a lot of good experiences, and I have a lot of accolades back there on my wall, trophies, jerseys, rings, and it's like, wow, like a lot of that work paid off, and we still working though. So,
do you remember this picture?
I didn't even know you had this picture. I remember winning the award, but I do not remember this picture. I got the hat on. Must have been a little bit cold. It's like, yeah, I don't remember this one, Coach. It's a throwback.
Yeah, it was probably early March. I'm pretty sure we're in Myrtle Beach.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where we traveled to attend that camp.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you went off that to actually win an award because it's hard because you're talking 300-400 people out there and be able to bring some hardware home. I mean, that was real impressive. I
appreciate that, Coach.
All right, we talked a little bit about Team USA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want to talk about this picture?
I look young, Coach. I'm always one of the youngest ones out there.
Absolutely.
My thing is me, Coach, I always smile. I always been a smiler, And, a lot of people always take me for granted because they look at me like, man, he's not really about that. He's smiling, all this and that. And I would love it because I'm like, oh, yeah, you gonna lowball me. So you gonna make my job easy here. but the experiences were great. Just fun times, Coach. Like good memories, whole bunch of good memories.
For sure, and it's good that you brought up that you smile a lot because I just remember an incident where it was a so-called tough guy, right?
Yeah,
And he's doing a lot of barking,
yeah.
rah 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 rah. You don't say a word, right? And you just turned around and you looked, and I looked at the kid. I said, that's gonna be a bad day for you.
Yeah, cause that day, Coach, I was I wish someone would, it's because you can flip that switch when it's about
Yeah,
that time, and
yeah.
yeah,
And you just sit up there like I said, dude. He plays football, and the guy, I can never forget it. He looked at me like, thanks for helping me out.
yeah, I remember exactly what you were talking about.
Because you said not a word. You didn't, yell or scream. You didn't say nothing. You just looked. And I said, I ain't seen that look before.
Yeah,
That looked like dinner time.
yeah.
It looked like he hungry.
Coach, no.
Hey, shout out to dude for making a business decision because that probably would have ended your career that day and your reputation because now he could continue with the tough guy stuff.
Exactly.
All right. East Bay, jersey presentation, middle of the field. I remember it like it was yesterday. I might have took that picture.
Might have, Coach.
What was this moment like?
This was really big for me, Coach, because I didn't expect this one. I had no clue. I had no clue at all. And, this game is connected with the U.S. Army game. So, I knew the type of players that they would have out there. Like I said, during this game, I played with Jeffrey Okudah, Cam Akers, Jamias Williams, D'Angelo Gibbs, a lot of guys, Tariq Black, who I think he's going to Texas now, transferring from Michigan. But Davis Mills, quarterback at Stanford. Like, I played with a lot of good guys. Dylan Moses. It was a great experience. So, and going out there just let me know, like, I'm really about that. I got to see it in person for myself, and that's just a big confidence booster when you go out there and you perform against those guys and you do well. Speaking of, like my dad thought I was someone else the same time when I was down there with my sister, and he said he was about to come down there and pull me off the field and take me back home for that performance. But then my sister's like, no, that's not him. That's him over there. He was like, oh, okay, all right. So now this is a big time moment for me. My freshman year, getting me jump started in my recruitment process, and that was a great day actually.
For sure. All right,
And
we
could have went out there too. Pre was hurt, man. I wish Pre could have experienced this, man.
yeah, he ended up getting hurt. Now this is a team picture. Y'all ended up winning, right?
Yeah, we won. This was fun. Melvin, he at Yale. Richard LeCount, safety at Georgia. I mean, there's a lot of great guys in this picture, man. And one of the things I'm trying to get better at is, talking to everyone you come across and, being buddies with them and getting their number, kind of like LeBron does. People are like, man, LeBron got everybody's number. He's so nice, but he's got a great relationships with guys. And if he ever needs anything, you can hit him up. And that's one of the things I'm trying to be better at myself is communicating and, growing your network because you never know, who's going to be good buddies down the line. So this is a fun experience. And shout out to all them guys in this photo.
For sure. That's what's up. All right. So now you transition into high school.
Yeah.
Freshman, we talked about your success, but as a ninth grader, wide-eyed ninth grader, what was that like? Because you started from day one. You started varsity from day one.
Day one. I always knew, man, like in middle school when I got there, I started everywhere. I've always been starting. And my thing was when I came into workouts, I was like, okay, let me learn my playbook. Let's learn that quick, And then two, it's like, okay, let's show coach, like, okay, I can play for real and I can handle these moments. And then three, it's like when you're around a bunch of great guys and they instill confidence in you and you show them that you can play and then you make those plays on the stage. I mean, I can visualize clips now, like big plays that weren't even set up for me, but I was open and I got them and, made a couple touchdowns in the playoffs. And, that was just a fun experience, but you got to be ready for the moments. And I was ready and came in, played with those guys, had a great experience, and got a ring. So that was good times.
For sure. I remember your freshman year. And your freshman year, the year before, I'm kind of set it up, narrated like I did the Davis and Dave game. We had lost last second Hail Mary.
Yep.
Right? State champion.
Game.
Yep. and we end up losing it. So up until that point, Southlake had been 8-man football at one time, and they had always got close, but they didn't pull it off like the year before. And I remember coming off the field, and the first person I see is a Pre, right? So Pre, number 23, I'm gonna lock him up next year.
Yeah.
Boy, get out my way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we little.
And so I'm walking through the crowd, and I see you and your dad.
Yeah.
And then he's just shaking his head like he'll be out there next year.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at a Prim like, no way.
Yeah. That's true story.
We just lost the game. So it's funny because you fast forward to when y'all got that chance as ninth graders the very next year, a Pre locked up that dude that caught the game-winning touchdown, picked him off for the game-saving interception.
Yep.
You end up setting it up lovely for us going into it with playing Raven Gap because that was a tough game.
Yeah.
You end up having 125 yards, 5 catches for 125 yards. Was it 2 touchdowns or 3?
I think it was 2. 2 touchdowns.
That was like, wow. I mean, and it was the game was, I think that was the second playoff game, but everybody was nervous, because somehow we get to those moments and lose them. And you just said, nah, I'm not going to let y'all lose because obviously they was keying in on Robert. They keyed in on our run game. And you made them respect our pass. You want to talk about that moment?
Man, that was a big one. I remember the game vividly. The thing is, everyone knew Robert. That's a bruiser and he got speed and you don't want to let him loose. And the thing is, man, with the passing game is you just got to get it sparked. You got to get it greased up and get it flowing. And so when those opportunities came to me and the ball was in the air, I wasn't nervous. I was just ready to go, Coach. I was prepared. I knew what routes I was running. I was confident in my hands. I prepare for this all the time. This is all we do is we work. So when the moment came, I was ready and I was just thankful. Because, a lot of games, sometimes you might not see it. So when it was coming, I was just thankful and I was just making the most of every opportunity and happy that I can help spark the passing game so that we can go ahead and win those games and get on to the state championship.
I want to say this. Your freshman year, I didn't see you drop a ball. Actually, I've never seen you drop a ball. I've seen balls be overthrown, but if it come in your radius, you grabbing it.
I have to, man. And so this experience too coming in and playing early, I mean, it helped me in college because when I came into college, I started my first game in college too. And that was kind of a fun experience coming in. And at that level, when you beat somebody out, it's a little bit different tension than it is in high school because this guy's he's been here 4 years and hold up, I can't travel because so, that helped prepare me like, okay, you come into these big games, you're a freshman, no one cares, bro. Like just make the play. And so that helped me a lot. Big game, my first game of my career, scored a touchdown and against a pretty good Delaware team at the time. We had a couple NFL players on that team got drafted. So
well, you started everywhere you went.
Yes, sir.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's a big
and I think you bring a rare combination of great route running, discipline, really quick. And also you lay your body on the line. Like we seen in the Davidson Day clip of you making a game-saving tackle at cornerback. But look at this play right here.
Yeah, Superman, Coach. That's crazy pick. I'm trying to go get it. I have to go get it. If it's in there, I got to go get it, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to get it. And that's crazy I got this picture. I'm literally like parallel with the ground. I don't know how Buddy got the picture, but this is wild.
This is what I was looking for. This was
that's what I was talking about. This is probably the one.
Because I was going through and I seen some other pictures. Like I had Chris on. I seen this. I said, I'm going to use this one. Because we also talked with Chris, these yellow uniforms. And I end up talking to Coach Torrey because I blamed him for picking these out. He had the ideal of these uniforms. I'm going to clarify. He didn't technically order the uniforms. So he's off the hook for them. But I remember vividly, and I told him, I had to remind him, you the one told us we need to go yellow uniform. But he didn't mean that type of yellow. And as soon as we come out that Saturday, because we played North Myrtle Beach, or it was Myrtle Beach Christian and one of them. And it was a Myrtle Beach Christian on a Saturday because I guess they had to travel. And as soon as I'm like, this is a bad decision.
Yeah. Send them back. Go get them other unis. Yeah. We had to crush them in the ugly unis. They had to see it the whole time. Sorry.
This is the only time y'all wore these two, right?
Yeah, one game. That was it. That was it.
Do you
Yeah.
still got yours?
I don't know. I might have to go back in the vault and check. I might. I don't know.
Well, see, your father got all. I'm pretty sure he got your jerseys. The only one that didn't get his jerseys was good old number 8.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, why?
I don't know. All that history and he don't get it. Come on, man.
Oh, man. All right, so
Man.
freshman year, we beat a strong, like, again, all of our state championship titles that came against strong teams. That Victory Christian team had 9 Division I players on it that we beat. And that was impressive. So this is year 1, state championship, man, and y'all boys was like super, super happy. I mean, you see Coach Cox back here. Look out.
Yeah. Man, look at these guys' faces. When you put in all that time, and especially you lose from the year before, and it's just so sweet, man. These guys, man, they work real hard. They work their butt off, and it's kind of crazy because like the memories just like this one's like a blur because it was so quick and the ride was so fun, and then we did it again. So it's like, man, that was a good team, though, man.
Let's talk about doing it again. All right, so you going to your sophomore year. Freshman year, y'all spoiled. Look, got a state championship, but it wasn't guaranteed that we was going to repeat again. I did a lot of narrating with the video to build up to it. We had moved in the same division as Davidson Day because, you know, back then, you know how private school do it now. Private school now, they take the best forward with the record, and they move them to Division I. The middle 6, Division II, and the lower tier go Division III. So back then, you had to play in your division.
You had to play in
that division. It wasn't guaranteed.
Right. And we won and moved up and won again.
Yep.
You know, with the same kid. We didn't grow. It's not like we, you know what I mean, we're the same school. We just moved up, new challenger. Man. And we all knew at the end it was gonna come down to us first down.
Absolutely. And you missing the opportunity to get your all-conference award, get the accolades. And I brought this picture up because check out the preface. Like he was really worried. Now you think he's cool, calm, he wouldn't be cool. But Eric, I'm telling you, he couldn't. I mean, he really didn't celebrate.
Yeah, I mean that's how you know that's my brother, man. He was more worried about my well-being, you know, than the championship we won. So, man, shout out to Pre, man, for being my brother for life, man.
Yeah, everybody over here is happy, right?
Yeah.
It looks like he got a Davidson Day jersey on.
It does. It does look like that, Coach. We all cheesing. Even Robert got a slight cheese on his face. They all pissed off, and he look like him and DeJoy got the same face. Oh man. That's funny, Coach.
All right, so you bring that winning mentality. We South Lake ends, right? Far as like the run, the state championship run. Everyone goes their own separate path.
Yep.
And we end up at Mountain Island Charter.
Yeah.
Talk about that transition.
I mean, man, that you know, picking a school is big to go to college. It's same in high school, man. So when that thing was getting split up, it's like everyone going on places, and you know, Mountain Island's a fresh place, fresh start. Didn't even really have football, so you know, we kind of went on faith. And you know, I talked a lot with you, Coach, because we were real close, and you know, my dad and all that, and trying to figure out the best situation possible. And went there and started something fresh from scratch. And the thing with this is, you know, you got to have a vision. You know, there was no blueprint. It wasn't like, okay, this is Alabama. They got 10 rings already. No, there was nothing here. So we really had to start from the ground and build something. And that's something special to say, you know, for me, because this is my first time building something. Y'all did it at South Lake and built it, but I just came along. So for me to, you know, help start the process to build this and to see where it's at now, as far as the 2 fields and the track and a lot of guys going there and getting the exposure and the weight rooms and the gym, it's like, man, it's crazy where it came from, but it was just a fun journey. The first year was a little tough going, but we still made it to the playoffs. We still competed, you know, with the team that we had. And, you know, it was just fun, man. Met a lot of different people. It's a completely different feel from the private school at South Lake, but it was fun.
All right, so you in this new situation, but you guys really showed that, because one thing, like being in a private school, um, and when you stand out in private school for academics, you and the pre stood out for your academics. So when y'all came to Mountain Island, it was similar. You know, it's just it wasn't named a private school, but academically, it's really great. So for you guys to be able to stand on top of it, I mean, look at this picture. You got Evan, you got Carson, you got you and the pre, and a lot of people didn't realize that until they really got to know you. Like, dude, they're really smart.
Smart guys, you know, just because they catch a ball and they might not speak that much, you know, that don't mean they're not brilliant guys, man. I mean, it's a brilliant group of kids right here. Carson is brilliant. Evan, you know, all of them brilliant. So just to be in those environments, that's another thing too, is, you know, you got to create your environment. It can be tough and forces you hard to do that sometimes, but you got to be purposeful to create your environment so you can be who you want to be, because you're going to be like the people you hang around. So it was good that we can create that positive environment where, hey, look, like Coach said, look, we're going to do nerd day because it's cool to be a nerd. You know, it's cool to take academics seriously. And that became the norm. And we all, you know, followed that.
For sure. All right. So you're going into your senior year. These are picture days. Shout out to Mike Strauss. He came up with these themes, these ideals, and just something new. Y'all made it cool. Y'all created this. You guys with that class with Hunter Nichols, Carson, yourself, Apri, Spivey, so many people, Kyle. I mean, just that first 2-3 years really established what we're enjoying now as a program. And I mean, look at this picture. It's a good look.
Yeah, clean uniforms. I mean, they weren't really doing the uniforms like we did them, Coach. You know, now everybody want to get fresh uniforms, but I mean, we was getting them things popping with the picture days in the media. I mean, we were clean with it, and it was just fun. That's just a whole fun experience, you know, getting the new uniforms with the hype around it. And, you know, that year we had, you know, a pretty good year. So it was like good team with good unis. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, look good, feel good, play good, right?
Simple.
All right, it's winding down.
Yeah.
I think that's
Another big thing for me is like I took my body to the next level my senior year. So my junior year I had like 6 touchdowns. Maybe my senior year I had 16, and it was all about, you know, helping the team get as many points as possible by doing whatever was asked of me. So I was looking at the photo here.
all right. So we just talked about that. Young freshman Eric versus senior Eric.
Yeah. That's crazy. Look at the hair. That's first.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. Coach Washington, that's because of you. Y'all had that long hair, and I'm like, man, I might need to just grow it out just because one time for the one time, and I kept growing it. So that's a big change. But, I mean, you can even see –
But that made it worse because they always thought we was related, right? Everybody
yeah.
You and the previous.
I mean, we was brothers, like real life. We brothers, but they thought we was like blood, you know?
Yeah, you made it worse with the braids.
Yeah, I got the braid. Yeah, and we both like. I remember, man, one of the teachers, they were like, Apri. And I'm looking like, Apri not in here. So I think she's talking to me. So I'm like, Apri, you don't hear me? I'm like, Apri who? Who is your name? My name is Eric. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, don't even worry about it. But yeah, that was crazy time in high school.
How much you learned in between this time, man? Like, what's this?
This right here, man. Young Eric, you know, he always was hungry, always wanted to learn. And South Lake, you know, 2 state championships, always won. Not much adversity. You know, going to Mountain Island, you go through a lot more adversity. And I think that helped prepare me for college, because now it's like, okay, I got to really start using my mind for myself. You know, a lot of times, you know, with the older people around you, you kind of fall in their mode. Now, okay, I got to set my own tone for my life. You know, I got to start making some big boy decisions where I want to go to school, and still getting the help from the environment. But when you go through that adversity, it helps you, you know, understand what you don't want, what you do want, and help you grow as an individual. So senior Eric has a lot more experiences behind him, and, you know, he could take his focus to another level because of the adversity that he went through. And it showed as I went to college, and, you know, was able to have success early there as well.
Sure. All right, we talked about it a little bit. You and your relationship with a pre, and I want to narrate this just a tad bit because y'all really was raised together like brothers,
Yeah.
like in the football sense and competing. And the one thing a priest always tell me, he used to say, I don't want anyone to, I don't want to guard anyone but Eric. And y'all did that because you knew you all was built from the same cloth. It's just super competitive, right? Couldn't stand to lose, So y'all would have epic battles, and it was almost like a brotherhood, competition, all wrapped in one. But the love was always there. And when I do a pre-interview, I can't do an Eric interview or a pre-interview without talking about each other.
Coach, I kid you not, man. I remember going on my shadow day at Southland. This is when I'm in 8th grade. I'm going there to see what the school's about. I'm finding out information about, Charlotte Christian, Providence, all the schools. And I take my shadow day, and I'm in PE with a pre, and we playing like handball. They put us on opposite teams. Now, granted, Coach, I'm coming to view the school. I'm coming to learn about the school. I'm in nice clothes. I start competing. I'm not losing to him. I don't care what they're talking about. I'm not losing. I'm busting out sweat. He busting his sweat. We compete in handball. And this is my shadow day, Coach. So when we competed, we compete, man. It's a lot of workouts people don't know about. I mean, we would go to the field and we do one-on-ones, and he'd be receiver, I'd be receiver, he'd be DB, I'd be DB, and we compete. Okay, we got 5 times. We're going to come out on top. And if I came out on top, he wasn't done. We can't finish the workout. I'm like, I'm done. He's like, nah. So we go some more. And he went, I'm not done, So we would go on forever. But the thing about Pre is he's a smart dude. That's why I like to work out with him, because he switches up his technique. He understands himself. His hips are really good. So when we work it, we get in good quality work. And the thing is, when you play with somebody like a Pre, man, he's a smart dude. So you want him on your team. So if I'm playing corner and he's playing safety, like, I don't even have to say too much because we'll be on the same page and we can dominate together. Or we're both playing wide out on the same side. Like, I remember we were at a Kentucky camp, and me and him were playing wide out on the same side doing the 2v2, and we know how each other run routes. So now I don't have to say nothing like, okay, boom, I got you on this little pick. I'm going to set it up like this. Boom, you can come off wide open, and vice versa. So when you play with a smart dude like a Pre, you have a lot of success, and you have a lot of fun times and good memories, man. So we grew up, like you said, a lot of years together. I mean, ever since y'all going 7th grade out in California together, a lot of great memories. So fun times, Coach.
And by you not having a brother, right? By you not having a brother, and a Pre brothers are younger. And obviously he looked up to Robert, and they're like brothers. But y'all was in the same class, the same grade. So y'all was always, y'all was like Michael and Marlon Jackson of the Jackson Five.
Yeah. It was competing though, man. Yeah. Pre was always fast, Coach. So I remember, man, I'm like, dog, I gotta get my speed up. So I went to go work on the track stuff. So because I saw he used to run track, I'm like, let me go get my track stuff right. And I remember one time we were at South Lake and we were competing in some 10s. And Pre thought he had me because he's like, oh yeah, boom, boom. And I beat him. He was like, oh snap, okay, let's run this again. And so, man, like, just having someone that you can compete with and y'all always pushing for greatness together. I mean, you can only go in the right direction when you both want greatness like that. And we've had a lot of success, man. He had a great year this past year. I had a great year too, and we just still trying to keep growing together, man. So it's cool to have that relationship. A lot of people don't have that, so I'm thankful for that.
That's what's up. And both of y'all in New York. So that's good stuff playing college ball.
You know what I mean?
No doubt. All right. Raptor Legend. Jersey retired. No one ever's going to wear 4 again. Right? And one thing I like about the Raptor Legend, and shout out to Justin Matthews. He did the Raptor Legends for the school. And you guys, we don't honor you guys after y'all go to college. It's special because it happens while y'all are in college.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about this moment and sharing it with your sister as well.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, a big thing was when you share it with your sister, she get to see it. And that's a big thing that a lot of people don't understand is, like I said, I got to see Robert call the coach and get the offers. So when you see it, you can visualize it, and then it'll come to you. So she being able to see this, man, is good, so she can see what hard work with while I'm in my room doing my work and my push-ups, what's that leading to, and, the benefits that come from it. But this is just a great experience, too, because you get to see, like, okay, I put in this work. I worked really hard. You know, I had a lot of great people around me, and to see that, you know, your jersey retired, that's something that I could go in my closet and go see right now by itself. Like that's just big time. Not a lot of people get to have that. And so that's just like another motivating factor moving forward. Like they can't have a retired jersey of a person who don't become successful after that. Was, you know what I mean? So you want to keep becoming successful. So, okay, yeah, he went on to have a great business career. He went on to play in the NFL. He went on and did this and did that. It's like, that's why we acknowledge him now, because we saw that in him. So just having that, man, it was a great moment to experience it with those guys who also had theirs retired like pre. And, you know, it was just a great moment of experience to know, like, we're in high school off on the right note. Everything paid off.
For sure. All right, so you signing. What was this moment like sharing this with your family?
I mean, you see their hats. They got the EG2 on them, you know? So it was a big time moment. And, you know, this day I knew, like, okay, when I went to South Lake, I'm going to the next level. This day I was like, okay, I'm about to go to the next level. And to have the people who helped me get to this point right here with me in the picture, supporting me, rocking my initials, it just means the world to have people that support you. And, you know, I'm so thankful for it, Coach. And I was thankful for this day and this experience. And Lord, look at that hair on my head. But, you know, it just brings back, you know, a lot of gratitude, emotions in me, Coach. So I'm definitely very thankful.
For sure. All right, so you in college now.
Yep.
Look at that. That's a picture. And E, I go through y'all stuff. I go through y'all profiles, and I always try to check up on you guys. Obviously, I get more information because I see a pre all the time, but I also close second. I follow you all the time. We got the Ivy League package, like we talked about the other day, and being able to see you play is a special thing because I know how much work you put in. And for any NFL, and I always say you're going to be a better NFL player than you are a college player. And the reason why I say that, and I know it because what you bring with your route discipline.
Yes, sir.
I remember Coach Chad Nice coming down to the school, and I tried to hold myself back as far as telling him this, but he came down and I said, if y'all sign Eric Gallman, he'll start as a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you could come back next year, that following year, you come back and you tell me, if he's not a starter, you can let me have it.
Mm-hmm.
He came back the next year and he said, Robert, I'm not going to lie. I thought you was full of it when you said that. So I came back and you was right. He is all that. So, I mean, this shows a lot. You want to talk about this picture?
Yeah, Coach. I mean, first things first is when you have a coach who believes in you at that level and you surround yourself with people who believe in you and then you have that work behind it. So now you believe in you too. That belief is what's so key, man. And for me, it's like I want everyone to know that because that's not something I'd hide for just myself. I want everyone to believe in themselves to that utmost ability because that's what I do for myself. And that's what helped me come in and start right away. And that's exactly what happened with Coach Nice, man. So, but a lot of people if they close to me, but came in, started, had a great first game. Second game, broke another record, 10 catches, 105 yards in my second game of my career. But I also had a big-time injury, man, that set me that, you know, that was kind of a little tough because, you know, I go from on a big high, you know, coach saying anything you need, let me know, you know, we got you, this, and that. And now I can't play. I can't do the thing. I never missed a game in my career. That was my first game I've ever missed. And it's like the game was taken from me. So now I'm in New York by myself, you know, without the game. And it's like, it's a tough time. So you got to level up your mind again. So that allowed me to focus on my academics on a whole nother level because I had more time and got my grades up, learned how to study. So it ended up being a blessing. And it gave me a red shirt, which allowed me to maybe graduate and transfer play somewhere else for my final year. So it ended up being a blessing. But during those times, it was tough. And, you know, coming in and playing and having an injury, you have to develop that mental toughness. And I did that. And, you know, I feel stronger and better than ever now. So, but that was a fun year, man. A lot of lessons, but had fun coming in and, you know, showing the world what number 18 was about.
Sure. All right, so you spoke about what you're about, and this looked like this what you're about. I know you made all Ivy your freshman year, I believe. Was it your freshman? Yeah, going into your sophomore.
Yeah.
Player of the game. I mean, you got a couple of these. You want to talk anything about that?
Man, it's just I'm just thankful for it, man. In college, you need a lot to go right. So, I mean, big shout out to my line and my quarterback and, you know, those guys at the coaching staff who are organizing the plays. to help me get open and help the team win. So it was just fun to be able to contribute that early. But like we know, Coach, this is what we've been doing. This is what we expect. We expect to help the team win. We expect to have big games, and to see our expectations coming, true is, it's just, it feels good to see what you create come to fruition. So I'm just thankful for these games and a lot more big games coming soon.
For sure. All right, E. Now, as we wrap up, I can tell you this is my longest interview by far.
Yeah, this was fun.
I kind of knew because we got a lot to cover because I don't put a limit on it. I mean, I've interviewed people for 15 minutes and now an hour and 30 minutes, right? But we had a lot of material to cover, and that's what I like to do. I like to interview and kind of highlight you guys, catch up with y'all, and sometimes we lose track of time, and that's what it's set up for. But, I appreciate you, E. Any last advice to any of these student athletes out here?
Man, a couple things. One, as I talked about throughout this, man, always believe in yourself. That's so big. That'll take you wherever you want to go in life. Two is be thankful for the people that helped you around you. I'm still working on, saying thank you more. But I try to be purposeful with my gratitude and thank those who helped me, because you can't get anywhere without a good team. So understanding that, and, so big shout out to you, Coach, for setting this up and helping along my journey, and all the other coaches who have, because it takes a whole bunch of people. And three, man, is select your friends and your environment wisely, because that's going to also dictate, who you become. And, like you said with a pre, that's a brother that I have who's focused and who's having fun and accomplishing a lot. And, the conversations we have are about things that are positive. So surround yourself with positive people who are doing and on the path that you want to be on. And you have a lot of success if you do those three things right there. So.
Yeah, for sure. Any last shout outs to anyone?
Man, I think I hit a lot of people during this, but definitely shout out to my dad. That's definitely where, me as a man became to come into play by just watching him and learning from him. So that probably be my last biggest shout out. Just shout out to my dad.
All right, for sure. Well, E, thanks for coming on. It was a pleasure. Good catching up.
Yes,
Strolling down memory lane. You
Yes,
take care. You already know this family. If you need anything, I'm here. And let's do it. Love you.
Love you too, Coach. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It was a fun time.
All right.
All right,
Thanks
Coach.
again, E.
All right.